Hello everyone, so in this tutorial we're gonna create a simple app, Django app, and this app is going to be handling a response for an endpoint that we gonna program or choose. Okay, so first thing first, let's activate the virtual environment, starting the terminal, and after activating the virtual environment, let's navigate to our Django project folder, which is my API. So now what we need to do is we need to create a new Django app. So we can divide our project into apps in order to make it organized and divide the work or the functionalities of our project between the apps. So how to create a new app? It's simple. Just go Python manage.py start app, and then we choose the name of the app. For me, I'm gonna say let's name it first app. So after doing that, we notice that here we have a new folder that Django created for us. Contains all the files that we need in order to program this app and tell this app what needs to be done. Okay, so in our case now we need to as we're working with API, to make things more neat and organized, I'm going to just create inside this folder, I'm going to create a new folder and name it API. Inside this folder I'll create two files. One file first is the URLs file, which is where the endpoints that I need to perform requests on, which is endpoints, I mean URLs, will be written there. And the second file is the view. The views is where I code or I program the app to handle the requests that's coming from that endpoint or URL. So let's start first by typing URLs .py, and the second one is views .py. Okay, so inside the views.py, so there's many ways to work with views in Django Rest Framework. So according to the documentations, we have views, we have generic views, we have view sets, we have class-based views, we have function-based views. So to make things simple, as our first app, let's start with a function-based views. So in the function-based views, it's an API view, and it's pretty simple to program and to achieve our objective, as we need a view to handle a response for the request that we are getting from the URL. So let's just use the function-based views. So how are we going to do that? The function-based views, as a Python programmer, basically it uses a function, and that function is responsible for handling the responses. So let's create a function on our views.py. So the function will be like, let's name it first. First function, just to make it simple for now. And this first function is going to take an argument which is request. So, and this function will return a response. So this function will return a response. So in order to get this to work, we have to import two important things. First, we need to import something called API view from the Django or Python decorators. That will tell this function that you are a responsible function or a view function that will be responsible for the responses that will be generated when a request comes from that URL. So let's import that from Rest Framework .decorator decorators import API view. Okay, and the second thing we need to import from Rest Framework is the response function, which is we use there response. Basically, that's it. So now we need to tell or add the decorator that we imported there to this, allocated to this function. So simply use at API view. Okay, let me check. Yeah, that's it. So that's all we need for now. I mean, we can see more options here, but basically this is what we need. So what I think I forgot to put two parentheses. Yeah. Okay, so that's it for the view. Okay, that's it for the view. If we go to the documentation, just want to show you something here. There's some more options that we can use. For example, inside API view decorator, you can tell this function to be or to respond for GET request or POST request or PUT request. For example, if I put here only a GET, so this function only will react to a GET request, not to a POST request. Okay, so this defines whether this function will be executed according to what type of request we're getting from that URL that we're going to be writing in a moment. So that's it for now. Let's send some message in our response, like, you know. So the message will be sending is kind of like a dictionary key value thing. So we'll write message and the value for it will be we receive your request, for example. Okay, so that's gonna do for the view. Next step is we need to generate a URL or write a URL that's gonna be that we will use in our browser to to make a request. Okay, so this is our URLs file. So inside here the URLs will be, what we need to do is we need to write something called URL buttons. So URL buttons will contain as much URLs as we need according to what we need to do with our app or API. So let's first import URL, or let's write the URL pattern so for you guys to see. So we can start like this. It's a list URL pattern. Well, it's a list, and inside this list we need to define which URL we need to use. So the URL will be like first, as we're using it now. Next, there's two arguments here. The URL, okay, plus the second argument will be the view that's gonna be handling the request from this URL. So which is this one that we wrote here, first function. So we need to copy this, put it here. So in order for this to work, we need to import URL. So we get this from Django, from django.conf.urls, import URL, and from .views import first function. So we imported the URL, we imported the view. Now that's all that done, we forgot to do one thing. After we start or we create any app, we need to come here to our main project folder, settings, and add the app that we started or created to the installed app. So how we do that? We just write the name of the app, which is first app, as a string. Done. That's all. So that Django can recognize that app and serve it. The next thing we need to do is we need to come to URLs here and tell our project or our main server that we added a URLs file here, and we need to tell this our project main project or our server to include all the URLs that we added here to the main URLs file. So how we do that? We just add it here. We can write path so after the localhost or 127.0.0.1 port 3000 / what comes next is what we write here. So we can write first app, okay, / this what comes first, and then we need this to include, okay, what's in our URLs file inside the app that we created. So what we write simply include, and we navigate to that app, which is first, we write as a string, obviously, first app dot, it's inside API, API dot URLs. So that's it, and we're done here. So the next thing we need to do is we need to migrate and run the server. So let's do that. Let's make migration first before, because it's a new app. Run make migrations. So it's saying here the include URL conf module where we included this. It doesn't have or does not appear to have any patterns in it. If okay, maybe we misspelled something here. Maybe it needs to be URL patterns. Let's try to run again. That's it. So now let's migrate. Okay. The next step is to run the server. Let's run the server. So as the server running now, let's test or let's make a request to that URL that we created. So our URL starts with first app, and after that first. So let's test that in the browser. First app. So we got this error said cannot apply Django model permission or a non-read only on a view that does not set query set. That means, because you remember we set our REST framework permissions we give in our settings, we told the REST framework, we told him that, and where's the permissions, just one framework permissions. We told him that the permissions that you need to work with is a Django model permissions or non-read only. And according to that, we didn't define here in our API view what the permission that needs to be used. Okay, what permissions are we giving this view? Because you remember, as a security wise, any request that goes to the server, it needs to be handled, okay, and handled as if is it authorized, not authorized. So that's why you need to define, because we chose here, we made the restrictions that the permissions needs to be either Django model permissions or a non-read only permissions. We don't have this on our view. So what we can do, we can, from REST framework decorators, we can also import what calls permission classes, okay? And we can define here what permission this this request or this view needs to deal with. So for now, I just need to tell this view to respond to any request that comes from through that URL. So what I need to do is use the permission classes, and inside here I need to tell what permissions I'm using. So I want to allow everyone. So for that, I have to use something called allow any. I need to import this in order to use it. Okay, I need to import this in order to use it. So let's import this from Rest Framework dot permissions import allow me. Okay, so now any request that gets through this URL will be handled. So let's save this and try it. If we go now here and we refresh this page, as you see now it worked and we got this, we receive your request which we wrote in our API views.py file. So that's it for this tutorial. Next tutorial we're gonna just do some more work in our view and see what else can we do or what cool things we can do with it. Thank you guys for your time, and until next tutorial.